Hi, drawing. Now that you have had your reintroduction into colored pencil, I know for some of you that was review, but we're going to go ahead and do a little bit more of a complicated layering composition. So I want you to find in your kit all of these pictures of candy. You're going to use one of these as the inspiration for your composition. If you hate all 24 of these and you want to create your own picture and take your picture, you're fine, as long as it's well lit and it clearly shows colorful shadows like these do. For instance, if I'm looking at this shadow of this orange lollipop, I want your picture to be good enough where it is catching the orange to the blue to the purple like phases of the shadow, because one of our big practices is going to be creating shadows that are not black. We're going to be creating shadows and reflection that have color in them. Okay, so I'm actually going to lay out, I think since I used that for an example, I'm going to lay out that example on this sheet. If you want to use something that is circular and round to help you lay out this composition, that is fine. You are going to be in charge of not transferring this image, but observing a small image and blowing the proportions up on your own. So that part's going to be difficult, okay? So I need to find something that is about the circular size that is going to make 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 suckers, and they are going to have to take up about, on here they take up about a dime size amount. On my page they're going to need to take up like a 50-cent piece amount or bigger, because in your mind you have to ask yourself, how much bigger do these need to be? I'm going to take this tape off my tape dispenser, because a circle about that size would probably work. Maybe it needs to be a little bit bigger actually. I wonder if these circles would work. Now, I can't use a circle for every one of these. Some of them are more, in fact, I'm just going to take that back. Some of them are just larger as they come forward. If you want to use circles, you can, but I'm just having a hard time finding one that works right here. So I'm going to put that in because on this composition, it is up in the left-hand corner. Down in this composition, here's the green one. It's larger, okay? Over here between is kind of the pink circle. The beauty of this is a sucker doesn't have to be perfect like a face would. If you get an eye that's crooked or a nose that's crooked, you see it right away. Okay, since these are lollipops and they can move around and be all colors and sizes, if you don't get this drawn out perfectly, it's okay. All right, so I'm first drawing out all the main colored sections. I have my red lollipop in, the green, this darker pink one, yellow, blue, and orange. Now I want to use a ruler. I do want to use tools when possible. So if a circular form can help you, or a ruler can help you, or the edge of something can help you, let that help you out a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna bring the stick from this lollipop off the side of the page because that's where it goes. I'm gonna bring the other stick from the other lollipop back underneath that stick again. That's where it goes. We can adjust the thickness of this later. All right, now I'm going to draw in the largest lollipop, and if one stick goes behind another stick, erase it. Okay, choosing things that are behind and in front of are really important. So I'm going to adjust that lollipop, and then finally this stick looks a little thicker because it's out front. I'm going to make it a little thicker, and I'm going to adjust this stick. That was probably too thick actually. I'm going to adjust that. All right, so just like when you're drawing, making decisions, keep things light, keep your lines light, adjust and readjust, keep looking, keep observing, keep trying to make the negative shapes where the sticks cross, okay? And really most of these are fairly simple to draw out if you break them down into simple shapes and arrangements. Okay, now that I have all of those drawn, I'm going to go ahead and sketch in where these shadows fall. I'm going to keep my lines lighter for the shadows because those are irregular. Shadows move and switch, and instead of being circles, they become ovals and ellipses, and they go over and under things. They're a lot more irregular. Sometimes they bend with the light a little bit instead of being exactly straight like the sticks are. Sometimes the shadows are really thick. But the shadows are an important part of what we are going to work on with the colored pencil. So get all of the shadows put in there, all right? Again, you are drawing this out right now. I'm going to adjust one of the sticks on your own. So you're looking at a small image and you're enlarging it. That's a difficult process, so give yourself time. We're going to take a couple of class periods to just do the drawing portion of this, okay? And I feel like I have too much space here at the top. I may cut off like a ½ inch or an inch of this to make a stronger composition. I am going to go back through and put on the kind of like these look like planets because they're dum-dums and they have those little rings around the top. So I'm putting those on the planets. And then, let's see. There's that. And there's that. All right, so I have this drawn out. I'm going to hold this up. And I'm going to hold up, again, I'm pointing. And you can cut out the one you're going to use if you don't want all that visual noise around it. This is the one I'm going to use. Now, if you chose, you know, a gummy bear, you've got a more irregular shape, but those are a little more forgiving in some ways. If you chose the ring pop, you could use like ellipses, like ovals right here, and then you can also use your ruler on those straight edges. If you choose something like these are also really forgiving because I could sketch those out. I'll just sketch that one out really quick. I could sketch this one out in minutes because I don't have to be so exact. Flips over, we've got a red Laffy Taffy, we got a blue Laffy Taffy, and you got a green Laffy Taffy. Now, the thing with those is all those little folds are shown with values, so you have to be okay with that, all right? So I'm going to stick for my example with the dum-dums, but if you're in class, I can help you work out all these different forms, okay? If you're at home, take your time, really try to enlarge these. I would highly recommend if you're at home sticking with images on these sheets. Again, if you are in class and you want to photograph a different candy on white, we can spotlight it in here. We can photograph a different candy if you bring it in. You can send me a different image if you want to bring it in, but the colored shadows are really, really important, okay? We'll add colored pencil to it later in a different demo.